taking a little trip to Pollock Pines, California to visit some friends. Now it snows up there sometimes this time of year, and I don't think it is right now, but it should be pretty cold. Whenever we drive up to the snow or really cold weather, we take our Mr. Heater buddy with us for emergency heat. We don't want to end up on the highway not being able to drive anywhere because of an avalanche or a mudslide, rock slide, or something like that, because we'd have to rely on the heat from our car to keep warm for a long period of time. We could run out of gas. That'd be a disaster. So that's why we bring it with us. We've never used it in a situation like this, and we wanted to test the procedure for setting it up that we have, and also test out and see how well it heats. Heats up in the car. So we're going to share that with you, and we'll also share with you the little carrying case that we have for it. Now, I reviewed Mr. Heater a while back. You can check it out in this little link right here. I've owned 3 of them. One of them right out of the box had a problem, and I talk about that in that video. They all 3 have a smell. Mr. Heater said that smells normal when you use them. I think it's probably the byproduct of burning off the chemical they add to propane, the odor they add. Most people don't have a problem with that. Some people don't even smell it, but for me, it bothers my lungs because I have asthma and allergies. It just makes it difficult to breathe. Just a little bit irritates them. So I wanted to test it out in the car. I would much rather deal with that than freeze to death. At home we have an Olympian Wave 8 heater, and you can check the review I have for that right here in this link. Yeah, it doesn't have a smell that I can smell. It's a different technology. It's more expensive. It's a little bulkier, a little heavier, external tank, that kind of deal. So, but you can't beat the portability and the price of the Mr. Heater, and that's why we take it. And we're going to go ahead and pull off the road up here in a little bit and test it out. This is our Mr. Heater buddy carrying bag. Now, I don't make any money from Mr. Heater, by the way, or get any incentives from them for doing this video. One of the things I really like about this is the carrying strap, and the material that it's made of is really strong. Also, I like the little holders on the ends of the bag, because they hold the 1-pound canisters nice and snug. Now, there's a front pocket here with a zipper on it. This is where we keep our carbon monoxide detectors and alarm and digital readout. And we also keep our propane leak detector in here. If you have a 20-pound tank that you use for yours, I suppose you can put the hose in there as well. It has 2 zippers on top. This is where I think it just makes it easier to remove the heater and to place it back in. And inside we keep our welder's blanket. This is good for up to 1800 degrees Fahrenheit. We generally just use this blanket whenever we use the Mr. Heater or Olympian Wave 8 heater. We just lay it down and place the heater on top, because in case it happens to get tipped over, and I don't want to damage the floor or have any other problems. Now it's supposed to shut off if it tips, but it's still going to be warm. Now, the canister on here right now is not stored on this. I don't do that long term. I just installed this before the trip and checked for leaks, and we're good to go. And with all 3 canisters, this one over here, we should get about 15 hours of runtime on low, according to Mr. Heater. Now, when we start Mr. Heater up, it's going to be burning oxygen in this car. If it's sealed, it's going to burn the oxygen down to a level where it's not going to burn efficiently, which means it could start producing carbon monoxide, which is a poisonous gas. So what we're going to do is ventilate by rolling the window down a crack. Mr. Heater says you should have 9 square inches above the heater and 9 square inches below, and we're not able to do that. So we're just doing 18 square inches with 1 window, and then crack the front window open and go with that. Now, Mr. Heater says that you don't want anything combustible within 24 inches of the front of the heater, or 6 inches from each side, or 30 inches from the top of the heater. So we're okay on the sides, of course. In the front is a little bit different, because when we put the seat down, the seat is going to get pretty hot because it's not all the way flat. But since we had this welder's blanket, we're good to go. Now on the top, we just bought another welder's blanket, and we just clipped it up with some paper clips. What we do with that is we just wrap all of our emergency supplies that we keep in our car all the time. We just wrap it up, all of those things in that blanket. And now some people might say all you need is like a stove fan or some kind of device where you can divert the heat this way, and that might work just fine. I don't know. I was just looking into that and look at the safety factors involved with that. For us, we decided to modify the surroundings rather than the heater. We have our carbon monoxide detector and the other one right here. Okay, so it's 36 degrees in the car right now, and we're going to start up the Mr. Heater and run it for 1 minute on high, and then so go ahead, and then we will turn it on low and see how long it takes to heat the car up and see how everything works. On high. There we go. And then we'll check back in a little bit and see how long it takes to heat up the car. All right, it's been a couple minutes here, about 3 minutes exactly, and the temperature says 38, almost 39 degrees. But this is really slow acting, so I decided to use this to check some of the temperatures. See, it's already heating up to 47.5. This is, of course, infrared and surface temperature, but it's still, between these two, you get a good idea. All right, it's been 12 minutes. We're at 47 degrees according to this little thermometer, and it's warmer than that, I can guarantee it. This just hasn't caught up. This one right here, 62 degrees in here. So it's really toasty. I mean, this is the surface, which is taking a while to warm up as well. And I guarantee you that if we were in this situation and it was, a survival kind of situation on the road, I'd turn this off right now. It's too hot. It's really warm in here. So what did we learn? Well, we learned quite a bit. We learned that if we run a Mr. Heater in our SUV, it's going to smell really bad. It was a small area. It irritated my lungs pretty bad. It even bothered my wife. At least the way we tested it, which I'll talk about in a second. And that's despite 30 square inches of ventilation. Now it also got very hot. It didn't take long, 20 minutes. We had to turn it off and on. We regulated the temperature by turning it off and on, and that was the mistake. The solution we found was to regulate the temperature, just roll the window down more, just get more ventilation, because it serves two purposes. It cools the car down, plus you're getting rid of a lot of the smell. We cracked open the sunroof, which really helped, and then the hatchback door, cracked that open just a little bit, and it serves as the purpose Mr. Heater suggested, which is below the heater ventilation, a little ventilation above it. Well, it works. The air went, it warmed up, and then and exited the sunroof along with the smell. So it really worked well, just ventilating more and leave the heater on low. Now, if you have like 5 degrees or minus 15 degrees or something like this, it's going to struggle more to keep warm. But at least we have more to work on. We had no idea that would be the way to do it, and so I'm glad we did this test. Now, if you don't want anything to do with this, you want some other way to stay warm in a situation like this, you could just buy a DC electric blanket and a small portable power station. And that's what we use when we go camping. And I did a review on that up here in this link if you want to check it out. It works real well. It kept us warm in cold nights in the tent. We don't want to use Mr. Heater in the tent. Some people do with no problem, but it was just too much for us in there. If you want information about any of the things that I talked about in this video, just see under the description below. So thanks for watching. Have a great day. Please like, share, and subscribe, and stay warm.